So there's a conversation getting ready to happen around The Color Purple, and that conversation is that it's an unrealistic portrayal of black men, meaning that what we are seeing in that movie is not a realistic portrayal of what black men actually do out in the real world. And I see that we're getting ready to have this conversation, so I would like us to be genuine when we have this conversation. I would like you to actively engage in this conversation if you've talked to your grandparents. Let's start there. Because honestly, you probably don't even need to ask your grandmother. That would be great as a primary source, but you can also get it from the secondary source, which would be your mother or your father or your aunt or your uncle. And you can ask them about the lived experiences that they had in the household with your grandmother and grandfather. And some of you may even be fortunate enough to go great, great, great or great, great and get even more information, because I would like us to be for real when we talk about the type of environment that black women were living in during that time. Not only did you have the Jim Crow laws and sharecropping and things of that nature, but you also had the rampant misogynoir that black women were experiencing, not only at the hands of white people, but at the hands of black men. Let's take it even a step further. How about you just ask your grandmother, would you remarry grandpa if you lived in today's world? That will tell you everything you need to know, because even though she might have the access and the resources that she didn't have access to back then, if she still would not choose to marry your grandfather, that says more about your grandfather than it does your grandmother. I would like us to be for real in this conversation, because a lot of the men that y'all are with idolize your grandfathers. Idolize the men back in those time period because they were real men, because things happened, they did things a certain way back then. So either y'all are aware that women were treated horribly back then, and that's what you're trying to go back to, because I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is that you're going back to other than the repealing of women's rights. You see what I'm saying? Even if, let's look at today, let's look at the DV rates. Not even 1 in 4, more than 1 in 4 black women have been sexually assaulted, have been victims of domestic violence, and are currently victims of domestic violence. And then let's take it a step further. Black women experience domestic violence rates higher than any other race of woman. Black women also overwhelmingly marry black men. And also black women are murdered at higher rates than any other race of woman. So with all of that information, what can we conclude from these studies? That black men are the one doing the unaliving to the black women who are experiencing intrapartner violence. And that black men, unfortunately, the descriptions that we're seeing in The Color Purple are not far-fetched from the descriptions that we have today.